Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Havoc and Chaos Live, a weekly look at some of the batshittery we call news and the pals, pundits, and other off-the-wall people, myself included, who claim to know what is really going on in our world. I'm an atheist, a lesbian, and I have bipolar disorder. Therefore, hate of any kind is not welcome in my world. I am opinionated, and my impulse control went by the wayside 4 months ago. So, I say what I feel. In other words, stupid smart people piss me the fuck off. Be forewarned, I am highly excitable, and if you are easily offended by 4-letter words or longer, you may want to go listen to something else. In November of 2013, I got involved in a bit of a Facebook discussion concerning alkaline water and the acid-alkaline diet fad. It started out with a friend posting a simple video concerning what to do with leftover turkey and making a homemade alkalized water, what some also call mineralized water. A strange combination, I know. At the time, many health-conscious pages touted these homemade concoctions, and they still do. Most labeled them as fruit water, mineralized water, or just plain old flavored water. All used these drinks basically as an alternative to drinking soda. Something I'm all for, although I'm a horrible example, as I sit here chugging down a 2-liter like nothing. As a whole, I'm not adverse to these homemade flavored water concoction thingies. It's when the bad health claims come creeping in that I become concerned. And over the course of the past 2 years, the health claims have become rather outlandish. Let me explain. Back in 2004, an individual I have admired was diagnosed with breast cancer. In an interview, she mentioned the acid-alkaline theory of dieting. That was the first time I remember hearing those words. What I didn't remember at the time of my original 2013 post was what influence said diet played in her role in recovery. That person was Melissa Etheridge. She bought into the woo. I remember not long after looking for any information concerning said diet. I was, and still am, looking for that panacea when it comes to food and diet. Aren't we all? To see really how lucky Melissa Etheridge was, check out the show notes. So, over the course of the past 11 years, I've read quite a bit. So when I see statements such as this from another individual in the initial conversation,
are you saying that alkalized water has no benefits because it's immediately turned acidic in the stomach? Tums and antacids help people. Why not alkalized water to act almost as a Tums tablet?
red flags begin to fly, and here's why. First, the initial op caught me a bit by surprise just by mentioning alkalized water. It was not a phrase I was expecting from this individual. In response, I wrote a really simplistic view of digestion. Considering our stomachs are acidic by nature, no food can change its acidity level. This now acid-laden food then enters our intestines, where secretions from our pancreas neutralize the stomach acids. It matters not what you eat. The food in the stomach is acidic, and the food in the intestines is alkaline. And I do go into a little bit more detail in the show notes, just too long to try to cram in here. Take that simplified statement, which is generally accepted by the medical community, scientists, and nutritionists as being the correct mechanization for our digestive process, to this statement.
Question: won't my stomach acid render alkaline water consumption useless? Answer: no. There is no hydrochloric acid pouch in our body, and the stomach walls make sodium bicarbonate to alkalize our food, not digest our food. HCl is only produced when we eat or drink acid-forming foods and drinks, and is balanced in equal proportions by sodium bicarbonate production, yada yada yada.
Now, before pointing to the obvious, I will say this. The above quote is taken directly from a company webpage that touts the benefits of water ionizers and alkaline ionized water. Their contraption sells for $1,200 plus. I've seen some as high as $6,000. So that's the why of my concern. Back to the incorrect information. Yeah, the whole statement's incorrect. No, the stomach does not produce sodium bicarbonate. It's an acidic environment. No, alkalinization does not occur in the stomach. It occurs in the intestines. No, HCl is not just produced when we eat or drink acid-forming foods and drinks. HCl is always present in the stomach. As for the Tums/antacid analogy, our stomach's acid content returns to its normal state. Our bloodstream and organs control acidity in a very narrow range. Anything that changes acidity in our bodies would make us very sick and could even kill us. Think of it this way. What happens when you hold your breath? Carbon dioxide accumulates in your bloodstream very rapidly and your blood turns acidic. Do it for too long, you'll become uncomfortable or even pass out, which forces you to start breathing again, and the pH then returns to normal. Or, if your kidneys are damaged and cannot regulate the acidity of your bloodstream, chemical reactions stop, poisons accumulate in your bloodstream, and you can die. So, as you can see, trying to change your drinking water ain't gonna do jack shit. But where this really goes off the rail is the diet aspect. The main premise of which,
when we eat acid-forming products, our bodies turn acidic and illness results. To compensate, we then leach calcium from our bones. If we continue to maintain a high acid diet, our bodies will shed calcium and we can end up with osteoporosis and other chronic diseases.
Again, no. And there are studies to back up that simple response. But going back to the general claim, it may make sense, but proponents of the acid-alkaline diet also ignore one key fact. The kidneys, not the bones, regulate blood pH. A second premise one may come across centers around this question posed to me.
I've read where people use the pH strips and measure before and after a change to diet and see a difference. Wouldn't that indicate the body is in a more alkaline state if the pH measurements of the body's waste change?
The simple answer, yes and no. But it's an apples and oranges comparison. There are two places where an individual can test their own pH: saliva and urine. The problem with that is the urine and saliva do not reflect the overall pH balance of your body. Think of it this way. You can get a pH reading of 6 via either urine or saliva. Some have actually reported lower pHs. But if your overall body pH was that low, you'd be dead. In regards to body waste, all foods will leave an end product, either alkaline ash or acidic ash, and only our urine can have its acidity changed. But since urine is contained in the bladder, it does not affect the pH of any other body part. It's a sealed system, so to speak. What the proponents of the alkaline diet have put forth is ideas on how acid diet harms our health. The claim that we can change the pH of our body by changing the foods we eat, and that acidic blood causes disease, while alkaline blood prevents it. It's not true. As mentioned above, the body tightly regulates the pH of our blood, and we cannot influence it by changing our diet. And FYI, scientists have known this since the 1930s, that the food we eat does have an effect on our urine pH, but if they were to significantly alter the balance of acidity or alkalinity in our food, we would die. So, in other words, the acid-alkaline hypothesis of diet is really old news. And yes, there are metabolic diseases, acidosis and its counterpart, alkalosis. They are real afflictions caused by pathological conditions such as chronic renal failure, which I've mentioned. One final note, and I'll shut up. This was not brought up in the preceding discussion, but actually was mentioned in passing by another friend a few weeks ago. It goes something like this. Oh, when I say a few weeks ago, I'm referring to 2013.
Cancer cells grow faster in an acidic environment.
There's two problems with this statement, besides not being able to change the blood pH. First, these are test tube studies. Second, while it is true that cancer cells cannot survive in an alkaline environment, but neither can any other cells in your body. Destroyed by Science recently put out a really nice piece explaining both these issues, and I wish that they would have put it out in 2013, it would have helped me immensely. Okay, I lied. There is a third issue, and Destroyed by Science actually touches on this as well. It is true that an acidic environment causes cancer cells to grow, but it's not the acidic environment that causes the cancer. It's the cancer that causes the acidic environment. This is general knowledge, folks. If you trust biochemistry, medicine, nutrition, etc., it is easy to see the bunk involved in these claims. If, on the other hand, you have a distrust for whatever reason, then go ahead and spend $1,200 plus. But a word of caution.
Question. Can't I make my own alkaline water with lemon juice, baking soda, or pH drops? Answer. Technically, the pH level of water can be modified slightly by adding certain substances. However, they will not necessarily reach the optimal pH level of 9.5. More importantly, alkalizing the water without the use of a water ionizer will not reduce the ORP, so the water will still be oxidizing to the body and create free radicals, which destroy cells. Ionization is also the only way to microcluster the water, which allows it to hydrate up to 6 times better than non-ionized water, and detoxify cells more thoroughly. For these same reasons, drinking alkaline water from a non-electric ionizer or by making your own with alkaline water pouches and the like will not provide the bulk of the benefits that an electric water ionizer does.
Yeah, even they say making your own alkaline water isn't good enough, and you have to buy their system. And if you remember my posting concerning Mineral Miracle Solution and Jim Humble's understanding of the word ORP, you may recognize the problem with that statement. And microclustering of water? Yeah, that's another long story we may explore one day. From an overall standpoint, the acid-alkaline diet won't kill you. The food prescriptions are actually pretty good for you, and you will lose weight if you limit yourself to only eating them. You know, nothing about the core tenets of the diet are harmful, but at its heart, the alkaline diet is fundamentally flawed. The bigger but, it's not a cure for cancer. And now, back to our show with Dave Foda.